Hello and welcome to Patch. I'm your host, Paul James. Today I'm joined by Matto Phillips. How are you, mate?
I'm good. Okay.
We're good.
Put my serious face on now.
This is the second go around because I've already butchered it once.
Well,
and then swore too quickly and YouTube
swore
wouldn't
too
like
quickly
it, so.
because he called me Matto guest.
Let alone the kind of changes I went for beforehand, which is what completely screwed it up. So
He said about 17 words in 1 second, just squashed them all together, and it didn't come out as well.
Didn't work. And then I screwed your name up as well, and here we are doing a take 2. At least it's not, the incredible episode 200. The Patchies.
Actually, the first ever Patchies.
Oh shit.
No.
At least we recorded. At least we caught this mess up. All right. This could be a longish episode, so we'll kind of get into things nice and quick. Because I mean, you and I have a bit of a thing when it comes to predictions and those sorts of things. Namely being wrong, but also those episodes tend to take a while. So we'll get straight into it. GamesCom is literally, like the opening night live is literally less than 24 hours away. As of when this episode goes live, Jeff Keighley's hosting it again. It's in Germany. There's going to be Germans there, and there's going to be video games there. That's about all you need to know, really. End of episode. Cut. We're going to drop a few predictions because it's a Keighley job. There's always lots and lots of game announcements or world premieres that will be present. So
not world premiere. It's not an Xbox convention. It's just
Jeff was the one that started it.
Oh, did he?
Jeff was the one that started it.
Xbox just stole it.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
Yeah,
just
so
someone else taking someone else's idea.
Yeah, never heard of it before in this industry. Never in my life.
Never.
So we're going to drop 5 predictions each for the games that we kind of expect to, I don't know, be announced, be shown, given release dates. I don't know, whatever. I don't want to say anything that's going to put you in a corner here, Matto. But before we jump into kind of our 5 games each, I'll just rattle off the things that we know about as of the time of recording. What has actually been announced to be there in some way, shape, or form. So we've got the Outlast trials, which is, I mean, Outlast was like an indie horror thing from a few years back that I thought was pretty much dead, but it turns out they're sticking with it, and there's going to be a new one, and it'll be there. Gotham Knights.
That's because it's not owned by Sony, that's why.
Yeah, quite possibly. High on Life, which also just this week got delayed into December, but High on Life will be there.
That's probably not a bad thing, being delayed till December this year.
Yeah, it was.
Otherwise, if it was delayed till next year, we would never. It'd be buried under the 1,400 games coming out next year.
Well, it was meant to come out the same day as Gotham Knights, which is also the same week as Call of Duty, which is also the same week as Bayonetta 3, which is also the same week as Star Ocean.
Oh wait, no, sorry. I was thinking Call of Duty for a second. That's next year. That's
Call of Duty skips next year.
Because I laughed at that
because
I thought it was hilarious.
There as well. No, those were kind of the 4 that were surrounding it. So not a bad idea for it to get out of there anyway. Honkai Star Rail, which is a game that was, I think it's from the Damo. Will love it because it's from the what's that weeby knockoff Breath of the Wild that he was losing his shit about?
I don't know.
Like had all the gacha microtransaction-y sort of stuff, but it was I'm going blank on the names. Hey, Genshin Impact. Yeah, Genshin Impact.
Oh, you sort of lost me at Breath of the Wild. I sort of just zoned off for a bit, but you said Breath of the Wild.
Hogwarts Legacy will be there, which just got a February release date. Callisto Protocol, which is still on track for December as of this point in time. The Expanse, a Telltale series. Telltale are going to be doing their thing. Dying Light 2.
Right, yeah.
Stroke.
I'd say you almost stuffed up the word Telltale there for a second.
I'll be real. It's been a really rough night. Footy tips have completely gone against me.
I'd finished second again.
No, I didn't. I broke away to an early lead. I tipped Melbourne to beat Brisbane, and I was like the person equal first was a Melbourne supporter. For some reason, she went Brisbane. So I was like, great. This like worst case scenario. It's I'm off to a good start anyway. Turns out that the only other game we deviated on was Carlton and Collingwood, and I went Carlton, and my heart was broken.
No.
So it was an equal tie in our work footy tips this year, and I'm furious about it. Especially for Carlton to have cocked up such an easy thing at the end there. But anyway, Dying Light 2's Bloody Ties DLC, Sonic Frontiers, Return of Monkey Island, Goat Simulator 3, and a brand new game from the Subnautica developers, which is not got a title, it's just a brand new game from the Subnautica developers. I guess before we jump into our 5 predictions, do you have any thoughts on any of those games at all, in terms of what you might want to see from them?
No, being that they're coming out this year, Gotham Knights, I've seen enough gameplay for that, so I don't care about that. Hogwarts Legacy, I will only care about it if they bring out a limited edition Nimbus 2000 or whatever it is edition. Limited edition.
Yeah, okay.
Broom and all.
Checks out.
If that, don't really care.
Otherwise, who cares? The only one that kind of really... I mean, I think everything else is pretty straightforward, and there might be new trailers, maybe some release dates for a couple of them, but... the one that's kind of caught my interest the most is Return to Monkey Island, because it's one of the few that doesn't have a release date. And I've heard rumblings already, and this was a couple of weeks ago at this point, about how LucasArts wants to handle review codes for that one. I won't say any more about the thing, but like the fact that they were like those sort of conversations were happening makes me think they might be kind of stealth dropping a release date for that one. Maybe it's kind of got that feeling about it.
The old Gorilla Drop.
Yeah,
just go right here. It is.
You can get it now, so. That's my gut feel about that one. I promise anyone watching or listening, I have nothing more to base it on other than the fact that like conversations about review codes, not with us at Player 2, but like there's been conversations about how they're going to handle review codes, and I think if they're thinking along those lines, then presumably it's awfully close, and so maybe it's a day one drop or something like that. But anyway, that one aside, that's kind of my only one that I've kind of got any specific thoughts about of that list. Everything else is sure, like. I get it. Seems cool. So, Matty, you can get the ball rolling. We've got 5 predictions each. We may double up on stuff. We haven't planned any backups. So we'll just see what happens.
All right.
What have you got?
So, for my first prediction for GamesCom in Germany.
And just to be clear, people, we're not ranking these. This is not some sort of 5
there's
to 1.
No rank. Oh, my number 1's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Maybe save that for last then.
I will. Yes, I will.
Unless I steal it.
You could. You never know. You might get in before me, and I'll be upset. But we'll never know because we didn't speak of what
we didn't talk about what we predicted beforehand.
This is what we do best. So my first prediction is
no preparation, no thought.
That the what is the place? The studio, or not studio, conference room, whatever you call it.
Oh yeah.
Lights go out.
Oh no.
Not 3 green lights. There's no 3 green lights there. No, just the reveal of a Grand Theft Auto 6 logo.
Oh,
that's it. That's it. Nothing else.
I can't believe that's not your number 1. Something like that would just rock the floor.
It would. Chairs will get lifted up and thrown, and people will be hugging and crying, and it'd be like the end of the world. It's just, my God, there's a Grand Theft Auto 6, and people will be talking about it for the next 2 years, where we don't see anything. Unless the actor of Trevor comes out and just says "fuck you" and then just walks off.
We could.
You could. You never know.
Man, that'd be. I mean, look, I'm not nuts about GTA. Like, I like GTA 5. I really like GTA 5's campaign, but that'd be like that. No matter what the rest of us say, I think after this, your predictions, my predictions, I think the biggest thing is GTA 6. If that actually happens, holy shit. That's something else.
And in all places, Germany.
Yeah,
not in America. Because if it was in America, they'd be rioting on the streets, burning cars.
Arseholes are taking the piss out of us. Now they can be... Fucking Germans are taking the piss out of us.
So the Germans will be celebrating politely and in orderly fashion.
But loudly.
No need to burn cars or anything. Well. Nothing silly. Just a big celebration and go home. That's all you need to do.
Gentle, quiet applause, and off they go.
Gentle, quiet applause, standard ovation, then just in a normal line, out the door, and go home.
Very orderly.
Very orderly.
No cars
flipped. No cars flipped. No cars on fire. Just everyone goes home.
I can get around that. I've instantly just thought of a 6th one, but anyway, we'll come back to that later.
Oh, well, he's got a backup now.
I've got a backup all of a sudden. My first one is definitely not at the scale of GTA 6. I've got some others that could be up there, but nothing at that sort of scale. Pixel Opus, which is the team responsible for Concrete Genie, so PlayStation 4 exclusive, came out in 2019. I think they're due to announce their new game, and I guess they're the team I'm focusing on. But I think, and look, PlayStation could still have their, for the last couple of years, what has been a September, like an annual September conference, where they kind of really blow the doors off with all this new stuff. And that, I mean, they did like Spider-Man and Wolverine, all those sorts of things last year. They cock teased Infamous only to pivot to Spider-Man. They showed off heaps of different games last year that were all coming out for the PS5 in the next little while. But the thing is now with things like Horizon out, God of War out, Gran Turismo out, the only stuff that's coming from the first party that we know of, like, names or even kind of release windows for sure, is Spider-Man at the end of next year and Wolverine the year after that. So my thing at this point for Sony now, again, they may hold all of this stuff for September if they do in fact have that showcase, but I feel like they might get one of them out the door. Like, Pixel Opus is a really small developer amongst their whole portfolio of studios. So maybe you get their announcement out at a separate event. So not to kind of shove them out the door, but to actually give them the chance to have the spotlight. And there's rumors that they're working with Sony Pictures or something like that for this game as well. So it could be a license. There's been rumblings that it might even be just continuing to flog the Spider-Man thing, but like a Spider-Verse style thing as well, which may or may not be true. And it'd be a huge difference in scale of project compared to Concrete Genie and then Entwined before that. But yeah, I think Sony's going to have a first-party title, I think, announced, a brand new one, whatever it is. And I just feel like, yeah, maybe you give Pixel Opus a little bit of time and space, because if they go and announce something in a September showcase and it's surrounded by like all these giant IP and the studios that are 5 to 10 times the size of them, I don't think they have a chance really. So that's my gut feel on that one. But yeah, that's my first prediction. Back over to you.
Big one.
Unless you got any.
I was going to put one of my predictions as Spider-Man 2, but when you said that, I thought, nah, that sounds like more sense. You reveal in September or whatever, makes more sense. But
I mean, if they've got nothing else, maybe you go break glass and put Spider-Man.
Maybe. But
also God of War's that close.
Oh, really close. My next one is that something from an Xbox studio gets shown. Just anything. I don't care what it is.
Hellblade.
Or something new from one of their 10 studios that do, at this point in time, absolutely nothing. Except for the Coalition, because they are working on Gears of War 6. But the other 9, or 8, whatever you want to say, because there is Hellblade, bugger all.
Yeah, the last time we saw Hellblade, I think, was the last Gamescom as well, because they're a European studio, so it kind of makes sense that, okay, we'll attend the event that's in our backyard.
They'll probably do it again.
So they might do it again.
They might as well just show us the whole game at this rate, then we just don't have to buy it.
Forza? Because isn't that meant to be early next year now, as opposed to late?
And being Germany likes cars.
They do like cars.
Put 2 and 2 together, voila.
Who else? Fable.
Oh, yeah, see, now we just bring in all the Xbox studios.
Well, I'm thinking about some that are kind of connected in Europe, like that they might be based in Europe.
Fable will probably be a good one too, if you think about it. It's always been this talk. They'll probably bring it out with motion sensors, and everyone will just turn the TV off and just go, no.
Yeah, get out.
No, you did that before. It was stupid. Between that and all the rare games on motion, that's all you saw at cash converters for Xbox games. It's just anything that was related to the Kinect, because no one wanted that rubbish. Or somebody didn't have a big enough room so you could actually move around.
Yeah, look, I can see it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, certainly my first thought is that if it's going to be an Xbox studio, it'd be one that's kind of based in Europe, which is why I instantly go to the likes of Hellblade or Fable or something like that. And then, of course, the Forza one that's just because it's kind of probably their closest release, I guess.
Oh, the Motorsports one, of course.
Yeah, the core motorsport game. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm interested for sure. For me, and I guess we'll keep the Xbox sort of train going here. 2 weeks ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago, something like that, Mr. Hideo Kojima tweeted out that he was cutting together a trailer. Now, I feel like that might have been a bit of a part of a larger tactic, because just yesterday or the day before, as of when we recorded this, they announced and you had a trailer for Death Stranding coming to
PC.
Xbox PC Game Pass. It'll never come to the console one because Sony owns it. But PC Game Pass they can because publishing rights aren't with Sony for that one. It's a weird mess that really Sony should have just thought about the fact that maybe one day we'll want to publish games on PC, and maybe we won't sell the publishing rights to someone else. But anyway, so yeah, Kojima tweeted that out that he'd just finished cutting together a trailer and he was pretty happy with himself. And then this Death Stranding one comes out for Game Pass. I'm like, okay, cool. But my gut feel is that trailer that he cut wasn't for the Death Stranding one. I mean, we know he's great mates with Jeff Keighley. If there was a chance that Kojima was going to present something, even if it's just a simple, hey, the game's coming to PC on Game Pass now, then Keighley would have done it, unless he had something else to show as well. So my gut feel is that back when, and this was before the official announcement, but a couple of weeks before the June or the Xbox Bethesda kind of conference in June, the word was that Kojima was working on a game with Xbox, which we kind of knew already. There was so much evidence about that. But then the game was going to be called Overdose, whatever it was. And when Kojima popped up, or at least it's codenamed that way anyway.
OD.
Yeah.
Is this the sequel to PT?
Yeah, maybe. My gut feel is that now the announcement's out of the way, but they didn't address the game's name or what sort of game it is or anything like that. It's almost like a 1-2 punch. Hey, let's announce the game. Now let's show it at Gamescom. And so I reckon Keighley's got Kojima on board for his next game. And that's kind of, I guess, that's me connecting a lot of dots and trying to link some threads that probably aren't there.
Or they might be.
They could 100% be there.
It could absolutely happen. Be the first time with all our predictions you've gone, hang on, these are all right.
Especially if
They've
I
never
managed
been
to
right.
plot the entire path all the way up to this announcement, or this proper announcement of the game. That'd be pretty sweet. He's had a while to work on it. Death Stranding was 2019.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, Barry.
It was
Barry.
pre-pandemic.
Baby Carried Simulator 2019.
Yeah.
What are him and Norman doing these days? Just hanging out on the curb.
Well, Norman said they're working on another Death Stranding game, which is possible as well, I guess, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe when it comes to Kojima, but I believe that. I reckon Overdose might be there, or his, whatever it's called. Back over to you, mate, I think.
All right, now look. Let me have a look, see what I got. I'm gonna say that there'll be a new Bioshock game.
Oh, there we go. There's our first thing in common.
Because the first one came out 15 years ago this week.
Yep.
Which is a long time ago. When it said 15 years ago, I thought, wow.
That's insane. No.
Yeah, 2007.
Yeah, it was
2007.
Yes, it was
I don't know how you say it
I
anymore.
just had this scratching moment in my
2007.
brain where I thought it was 2006, but that was actually just Gears, the first Gears.
2007 was the first Bioshock. And I was like, wow. I played that game almost 15 years ago and I feel old. Really old.
And it was incredible, though.
It was. Then they made a second one. It wasn't as incredible, but
well, they
still.
didn't make it, to be fair.
Oh, there we go. That's probably why. They probably got back on Infinite and then it was incredible again.
Bioshock 2 was made here in Australia.
Oh, back when 2K Australia used to exist after the Borderlands pre-sequel
they did that
came
before
out
they
and
did
then
Borderlands.
shut down after that, which was a shame.
I mean, I think there was a few people from Irrational working on it, but for the most part it was like 2K Australia, 2K Marin, all that sort of stuff. It wasn't Ken Levine and his team.
Oh, I'll make Ken. Oh, Ken.
But I'm with you on Bioshock. I mean, Cloud Chamber's the team working on it apparently, and that's a brand new team, but they're working specifically on a Bioshock. That much is kind of official already, so
it'll be very interesting to see where they go with it, being that the last Bioshock game came out 2013.
Even that, 9 years.
Ridiculous. You just think about it didn't come out that long ago. You look at it as 2013, you think, oh, Jesus.
Between that and then Bioshock 1 being 15 years ago, I feel old.
And will you believe it that Bioshock Infinite's only been re-released once?
So far.
Once so far. Not 7 times.
We'll get a native PS5 version soon.
Oh, man.
But it is actually interesting. That's a great little thing you point, because that year it was kind of mostly a 2-horse race, but really kind of a 3-horse race for Game of the Year.
Grand Theft Auto,
Last of Us and Bioshock, and the other two have been remade and remastered a bunch of times.
Poor
And
Bioshock just put in the back burners. It would have won Game of the Year. Unfortunately, The Last of Us came out.
yeah,
And Grand Theft Auto 5, but you take your pick on there, but definitely the Last of Us, definitely Game of the Year that year.
yeah,
No
I'd agree.
doubt.
And we'll see how the remake stacks
Because
up. I guess it's
because
public
Grand
knowledge
Theft
that I'm
Auto is
playing it,
just the
but
same game every time.
yeah.
Betrayal. That's all it is.
Well, look, they added first person and those sorts of things into future GTA updates, which is cool.
Yes, and then that got banned from Big W because all the mums got upset.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Target mums got upset. It's like, oh, we can't sell that. But then those stupid gamers started to complain that they shouldn't have 50 Shades of Grey in Big W because it's... You know
What
how
a world we're in.
things... I know, it's a weird world we live in. You just scratch your head and go
How did
back
we
to
get
playing
here?
Grand Theft Auto 5.
I don't know how we got here.
But
Yeah,
then, it'd be a good thing then, because then our government can be up to date. They can start complaining. This is not. Speaking of Grand Theft Auto 5, if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, they can be relevant again because they're not referencing a game from 9 years ago. Like all those kids going out playing their Grand Theft Autos, becoming violent. No, you stupid potato head. That's not how games work.
Dutton.
And if you're a real gamer, Mister Potato Head, that's probably the least violent game out of them all these days.
I love that we keep kicking Dutton around despite the fact that he's not even... Well, I suppose he's the
Who?
lib leader, isn't he?
Who's Dutton?
He's the
I only
potato
know
head.
him. That's all I know
yeah,
him as.
right, okay.
I only know him
Potato
as
Head.
Potato Head Man.
Yeah, okay, checks out.
Old Spud Brain.
I'm big on your Bioshock idea. I had it as well, so I guess I may as well... Like, I'll go with that at the
Oh,
exact
lucky
same
you
time.
gave up that sixth idea then.
Yeah. So, well,
in
yeah, I
trouble.
guess I've got that... I mean, should I go with it?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, okay, well, we've just... There's our third prediction out of the way. Okay. My fourth one then, and is the one that I thought of, before... and I guess it's continued the PlayStation thing going. Horizon for Zero Dawn got a big DLC in the Frozen Wilds, and I think it's about time that the Forbidden West gets its DLC announced. So I think we'll get.
Oh right, okay. I thought you're not going to bring out Forbidden West. No,
Horizon 3.
Zero Dawn's DLC onto PS5. I thought that's
already there.
That's stupid.
Yeah. No, they did put out a patch for Horizon and to get it optimized on PS5, but nothing specific. No, there won't be a native version. No, I think we'll get an announcement for like a big full-on meaty DLC for Forbidden West, and I can get all around that. But I don't know if I have much more to say than that, really, because as I said, it kind of popped into the head before when we were talking about.
I don't think you need to really add
Studios.
too much onto it anyway. To be honest.
Right,
Right,
one of
so
the
what are we up to?
This will be,
Number
I guess,
two?
our fourth.
Fourth, number 2, fourth. Yeah, we'll go fourth. Our fourth one.
Bioshock, yeah.
So my fourth one is it's either a preview of the new Cyberpunk 2077 DLC,
Yep.
or a small trailer for the new Witcher game, or Netflix series. Take your pick. I don't really care. You never
Netflix
know.
series, I could see it. Game.
Because Henry will
barely
come out and just
started.
talk to. Henry will come out in his Geralt outfit and just talk as Geralt, and people will go, "Oh my god, it's Geralt!"
Yeah.
Or
TV series, I
Dandelion
could see a
comes out and
trailer.
sings a song.
yeah, we'll get that. That's fine.
Or the
like
Bard
those two have been a
in the
banger
TV
so
show,
far.
the Bard, as he's called in the TV show.
Every
The
now
Bard.
and then, very, very rarely referenced to as Dandelion, but yeah, never really all that much. The TV series trailer, I could see it. The game, I couldn't. But I guess we could get it, because remember, Witcher 3, the native PS5, Xbox Series X version hasn't got a date yet.
Oh yes, I
So
forgot about that.
So you might get something from CD Projekt regardless, whether it's the DLC for Cyberpunk or the Witcher 3 remaster.
Well, Keanu Reeves just comes out and just promotes John Wick 4. We don't know. It's just, like we said, it's a weird world we live in. You just never know.
Yeah, it's a weird world. I'll pay that. Yeah, I don't know if I have any other thoughts on that one.
It could just be a reveal of, is it Ciri or is it Geralt as you play as the character? Who is
that'd
your
be nice,
character?
just to get that tiny little tease.
Or is it just you play as Dandelion, just go around
Running
playing
away from
songs,
things.
running away from things, getting caught by succubuses and all that, and just playing songs on your lute.
Checks out. Yeah, it's a video game adaptation of the TV series that's based on the video game adaptation of a book.
It's like South Park.
I think there was even one extra layer to that, but yeah, I can get around that. I'm all about that. My fourth one is one that I just continue to throw out there every single time we get a chance to predict an event like this. Hollow Knight Silk Song.
That's going to be in every prediction until it just
have
appears.
To believe. But like it appearing at the Xbox thing in June gives me a little bit of hope that okay, like they're starting to get the marketing train going again. At this point, they don't have they haven't announced a PlayStation version yet. That's the only version that hasn't been announced so far. Switch, PC, Xbox Game Pass specifically. But yeah, they haven't announced a PlayStation version yet. So I'd imagine maybe there's a date with the confirmation that it's coming to all platforms on whatever that date is. Could be a little way off. I don't know when they'd slot it. October is clearly bad news, as we've already discussed.
Next year's just completely bad news.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just got
because
December.
It's an indie game, you don't typically announce release dates a long way out if you're an indie title. It tends to be like a month maybe in advance. It tends to be usually a pretty safe way to go. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just making this prediction because I feel like I need to make this prediction because that's how it goes every single time. But I don't know. It does seem like they're trying to get the marketing train up and going again with that Xbox One. So fingers crossed. Which then I guess takes it back to you and your final prediction.
Oh, this is the big one. So the last one, fifth one.
You haven't discussed Nintendo yet, which is where my head instantly goes.
No, it's not Nintendo. No, this is what's going to happen. An Embracer Group rep's going to come out.
We've bought
and Xbox. Say they have officially purchased GamesCom, and it will now be called EmbraceCon.
Yeah, I hope that's your final prediction, is it actually?
That is my final prediction. That is.
Jeff Keighley has been bought by the Embracer Group.
Just the Embracer guys comes on with a wheelbarrow full of money and say, "Here you go, Jeff. Off you go."
Ah, shit. I wish I went funny now with my final one.
Maybe I should have gone last then.
Yeah, if I knew that.
Maybe you should just bring it back on track with
something
your
serious.
big one.
Well, I thought Nintendo with yours because I was thinking Nintendo with mine. I think Metroid Prime 4 might finally pop up again. After all these years. Bayonetta's nearly out, and that was kind of the same sort of timeline. Now, obviously, Platinum is not part of Nintendo at all. But, I don't know. Maybe it's the time. It'll be further away. Like, it's probably a 2023 release, but why not?
Another one.
Yeah, but probably later in 2023, as opposed to everything we discussed last week. I could see it being a September sort of game next year. But I reckon that might be the path that they kind of go with. Like, okay, here's the trailer, and it'll say, because obviously it'll be Northern Hemisphere, they'll drop a fall or autumn 2023 sort of timeline. I'm around that. I can
see that. I can just see it happening. Just lights go dim, and then all of a sudden, a morph ball appears on that. 3 green lights, or just a ball that everyone thinks is a Pokeball, but it's not a Pokeball. It's a morph ball. It's Samus, and just rolls
which is also
off.
a great way to say, like, after all the Pokemon, it's Samus. Who's that Pokemon? It's Samus. Fuck.
Full talk. It's Samus. Bullshit.
Shit. Yeah. I've just. Like, I don't say it with any sort of degree of confidence, and as people have probably worked out now, for the most part, most of my predictions have been pretty high level, sort of pie in the sky sort of ones. So there's a very, very, very good chance that I could be 0 from 5 when it comes to this, these predictions, and that would be true to form. But at least I'm going into with that sort of confidence this time around. And also the Hollow Knight one, I'm just trying to will into existence because that gives me a chance in the draft. If it comes out this year, that gives me a chance to come back. So I'll try and will it in that a little bit more.
He just needs to win one thing this year.
Yeah, like, I mean that. Shit.
Not equally, just him on top, no one else. Everyone's below him.
I can't understand how heartbreaking that footy tips thing is. I've come since I've arrived at that school, I've been second place all 4 years. The 5th year, I'm on going into the round. It's a tie. I get the early point lead at the beginning of the round, and then this comes back and completely screws me, and it's a tie. And even when I come first, I still don't come first on my own. Like, even when
Always
I come
has
first,
to
I have to
share.
share it with someone. Like, fuck. So next year's got to be the year. I even suggested afterwards, shooting a message like, "Hey, can we do like a count back? Whoever most recently got the full round correct, which was me last week." So I was like, "Come on, fall for that." Nah.
Or do you just continue into the finals?
Oh, that'd be
See
nice.
who tips right.
I don't think I could deal with the stress of that. Especially because the person who was equal top with me is a Melbourne supporter. So can you imagine if it ends up being Geelong Melbourne in the grand final?
Oh.
Like, do you just agree to tip the other team so that no matter what, you're happy? You win hundreds of dollars, or your team wins the grand final?
Or you just lose, you get no money and devastation at the same time.
Yeah. I think that, yeah.
Just the glory of just all that money that person's just lost.
And they've lost, and your team's lost the grand
And they
final.
lost the premiership.
Oh, shit. What a time. Well, do you have any other thoughts at all about Gamescom or anything that may pop up? Any just kind of things that have sprung to mind throughout the course of the show?
I'd say maybe a trailer for Assassin's Creed. That's really it.
Yeah, possible.
Or
I can get
Splinter
around
Cell.
it. My heart's broken there. Broken into too many pieces. It's over.
Into 3 pieces that look like green lights.
Green lights. That will never be picked up by Ubisoft. Fuckers.
Well, maybe Embracer Group's list, and maybe you can pick that up too. Just
buy Ubisoft.
Just buy Ubisoft. And just scrap all the other games.
Just
make a Splinter Cell game.
How hard is it? Were you aware of that too, by the way? They bought Lord of the Rings last week.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought, oh, good. Maybe they'll actually make an exciting game.
Maybe they can cancel that Gollum game that looks like fucking turd.
Yeah. And then just have the adventures of Samwise and Frodo, and just all you do is just travel along, having a grand old time, get eaten by spiders, or one gets eaten by a spider.
Get around it.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we'll wrap things up. Please make sure, if you're watching or listening, to let us know either social media or the website or whatever, what your or the YouTube comments, what predictions you might have for the event. It is less than 24 hours away, so you have to get in quick. But make sure to do so. Gamescom's Opening Night Live always has, Jeff's promoting 30 plus games that'll be shown, announced, teased, presented somehow. So there's bound to be a few real gems in there. I'm sure there's going to be some turds. I'm sure there's going to be chic Hydrobot style cringe moments along the way as well. But for the most part, it should be rock solid. Even the games that he's already mentioned, there's a few big games in there, like Callisto Protocol, for example, that we're really keen on. So again, let us know in the comments, social media, whatever, what you think. If you enjoyed that episode of Patch, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell. That way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live. That includes Patched, Player 2 Plays, Gamer School, and a whole bunch more. Visit the website, player2.net.au, for reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick it a few bucks. Lower tiers early access, higher tiers monthly episode exclusives. And finally, there's Twitter. Matto.
Matto_guest.
Paul James Games for myself. The website is player2au. And until next week, where I don't know. Actually, do we have another episode in us before the? Oh no,
the update.
No, next episode's the updates. So I don't know. Maybe we'll do a little debrief on the whole thing afterwards. We'll see how we go. But hopefully, all the games that you're expecting and wanting to see surface in some way, shape, or form. We'll have to wait and see though. Thanks a lot for watching. We'll see you next week. Fucking Collingwood.